Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And me, DB Fastbinder.
And if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do is we critique stuff from our corners. We're probably going to start doing things a little differently. Normally, we'll do something new or new-ish, and then pair it with something older and more classic. But I think now we're probably just going to be like, all right, we're just going to review something that we want to review, regardless of when it was released. So,
you know what? I'm kind of tired of stepping on the Netflix and Paramount Originals rakes.
Yeah, I am too. Yes. Yes.
We're not Sideshow Bob. It isn't a long-standing running joke. We just want to watch things that we think we have a shot of enjoying. Or if we think we're not going to enjoy it, it'll be interesting to pick apart a bit.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so for this week, we're reviewing a couple of mid-90s movies. These are, of course, movies that I grew up with. Maybe not so much with DB, although he's seen them, just not for a while.
Our first one, you know what? Let's get into our first one.
Yes. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
Now, astute regular viewers of the show might go, wait, you never reviewed Ace Ventura 1. What the heck? Yeah. Well, there's a simple reason for that. I didn't think I had actually seen Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls before. So I said, well, I mean, I basically remember the plot of the first one. It's not like there's going to be a sort of great continuity or anything.
Yeah.
And what's funny about this one is I had thought I had caught the last 10 minutes of it on TV once. It's more like I must have caught like the last half of it, because after a certain point, the movie suddenly started getting very familiar.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing you don't really have in the streaming era. To its pluses and minuses is there is no just turning on Netflix and randomly seeing the tail end of a movie.
No, that's true. Yeah, that spontaneity and everything has gone went away with streaming. But yeah, I remember watching this movie a lot when I was a kid, and both Ace Ventura movies. Of course, Ace Ventura 1. I don't know if in my head, I always think like, well, they probably couldn't make that movie today because of the whole Einhorn is Finkel, Finkel is Einhorn.
Right.
But I don't know if you could make this movie today either.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Jim Carrey today, especially like when he was being weirdly political in an artsy way a few years back.
Yeah.
I am sure if you pressed him on it, he would apologize for both of these movies.
Now that I think about it, he might have apologized for the first one, like a few years ago. If I remember, I may be misremembering, but yeah, he might have already done that.
It wouldn't be surprising if he did.
Yeah.
So, basic premise of the series, for those who may not be aware of it, his name is Ace Ventura. He is basically a live-action cartoon character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they actually did a cartoon show.
Yeah, which I recall being somewhat decent.
Yeah.
Don't really recall a lot of the episodes, but that's not necessarily a sign of it not being at least tolerable.
Yeah.
But he is a detective who specifically solves crimes involving animals. He has a little capuchin monkey. What was his name? Spike?
Spike, yeah.
Okay. Who is a sidekick. And it's basically Jim Carrey at his cultural high point, basically having no censorship on his creative id.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like people think that Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool is too much of a chatterbox and smart aleck, but man.
Yeah.
I think your enjoyment of this movie is going to be entirely based on what percentage of Ace's jokes hit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very true. Yeah, yeah. And the first movie, the basic plot of the movie was that the Miami Dolphins mascot gets kidnapped, and right before the Super Bowl, and so he's got to find the dolphin. In this movie, um, actually, the opening scene of the movie, they parodied a Cliffhanger, which was, for those of you who don't know, Cliffhanger was with Sylvester Stallone. It's Die Hard on a Mountain. Um, but the opening scene of that movie is he's rescuing this woman, and then things go wrong, and she falls, and they parodied that whole scene in this movie, but it's with a raccoon.
Yeah, and then he ends up at a Tibetan shrine,
Yeah,
which maybe, of course, think of Hot Shots Part 2 because it also makes you think of the second Rambo movie.
yeah, yeah. Where he's trying to live a peaceful life, and yeah, um, and
Oh,
then
and
he.
also MacGruber. So it's like
Oh,
it's a
McGruber.
well-worn comedy parody.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, I forgot about MacGruber. Yeah. Yeah, so then we meet the his basically his sidekick for the movie was Green something. What was it? Green Ace Ventura. Let's see. Is this British guy who looks like he's dressed like he's going on safari. Fulton Greenwald. And yeah, he shows up at the monastery looking for Ace, and the I don't know what the title is, but the head monk at the monastery, he said, "Well, I'm looking for Ace Ventura." "Oh, nobody here has a label." "Oh, he's an American. We all come from the same life force." He bends over and speaks from his rear. "I am."
Yes, he is okay. So I think that I didn't find too much of Ace's comedy hijinks terribly funny in this one.
Yeah,
But part of that is that I think it is squarely aimed at a late late kid to young teen mindset.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And having enjoyed this movie when I was a 10-year-old, I can attest to that. Yeah,
Yes, because basically the whole comedy style is just being very obnoxious and uh, like just inappropriate. It's like just all the things that a kid wishes they could do.
right. Yeah. Yeah, and so Greenwald it shows up because he needs Ace's help because there's a missing animal. Of course, he doesn't tell him what the animal is. He said they need help finding this animal, and then of course he gets talked into leaving, and so he goes to Africa, this a fictional African country. I believe it's fictional.
It was like what Nibia
Nibia, yeah.
or
And
Nimia, something like that.
yeah, yeah. And of course the whole thing the whole reason he's going over is because there's this it's a bat. It's a sacred bat for this African tribe. And of course, we find the one animal that Ace is deathly afraid of. It's
Yep.
bats.
Out of everything, it's bats.
Yeah. And so he has to find this sacred bat for this African tribe before a war breaks out with this other African tribe. And of course, they're trying to align the two with this marriage between one tribe's princess and then the other tribe's first son. Um, and hijinks and hilarity ensue.
Yes. So just from like a world building perspective, this movie is very strange because um like if this was a period piece starring Ace Ventura's father in like the 40s, I think it would have been more plausible.
Yeah.
But it's like it feels like this it's either still a British colony somehow,
Yeah.
or it feels like it's a Rhodesia type situation, Rhodesia or South Africa type situation where you have a minority remnant still lording over the country, or it's like a De Beers Diamond situation where you have some European company that's basically rulers of the area.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is a little odd. Yeah, I have no idea where they got the idea for that. I just yeah.
Yes. And furthermore, like there's no sign that like these African tribes are just living entirely in what at least the movie thinks is the traditional way they would. What's
Yeah.
also interesting about it is that it's basically a, oh well, if tribe A doesn't return the bat to tribe B will show up and slaughter them all. And it's like, is this just like your country doesn't have a military that can try to break this up?
Yeah.
Your only solution is to find this elusive bat.
Yeah.
You can't like you try to stop this. There's the tribe B is so illogical and irrational that they'll just commit genocide because of a missing bat.
It's best not to think about it too much.
Exactly that type of premise. It's
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, you have your ticking clock, you got to fix this problem, and this is in the context of what's even weirder about this is that they're in the middle of trying to marry off the ruler, like the princess of tribe A with the ruler of tribe B. So
Yeah.
so it's like, and I'm going to transport this to a European setting. It would be like if the kings of, I don't know, Spain and France were going to like marry off their children, but oh, the French crown jewels have gone missing. So if we don't find them, France is going to roll in and slaughter everyone in Spain. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Or at the very least, if it does make sense, it has very evil implications.
Yeah. That's kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I don't think they can make this movie today.
I don't think they would want to make this movie today.
No.
Although ironically, this is almost less racist than Wakanda is in its own way, because at least like it looks like they're all from one like the tribes are distinct rather than there being tribes that are basically just a mishmash of every African design concept the people at Marvel could find on Google image search.
Yeah. Yeah. But what
All
I
right,
will
so
say,
outside of like weirdness of the setting,
yeah.
it's the actual mystery. I'm not going to necessarily spoil the mystery. I'll say that because it's basically all the movie has. It's all the movie has. And to keep the outside of Jim Carrey's antics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say that it's actually pretty well set up, and like the payoff is pretty reasonable.
Yeah. I will say it does, like a lot of, again, like a lot of comedies, especially comedy sequels, it gets really silly at the end of the movie.
Yes, definitely.
Even sillier than the first one.
That was pretty darn silly.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. What would you know about pressure? Well, I have kissed a man.
Yeah. Now go ahead.
No, I was just to say, yeah, it gets kind of silly with all the animals and everything. Although I would not wanted to have been the whoever the animal handlers were on that during that scene, trying to keep all those animals together, especially the ones that are like, oh, that animal likes to eat that one.
Oh yeah, like when they're breaking into the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there were some effects here where I wondered how they did that, or like did they green screen in the people, or like were they animatronics or composite shots? But also amusingly, there's an elephant there. It is an Asian elephant, even though this is in Africa. It almost seems in keeping for a wasteful colonial administration to import a trained Indian elephant for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, because all the African ones are almost extinct. 'Cause they have to get the.
Are they doing better than the?
They're better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking like which one is worse off, and I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyhow, so I think it's sort of in this weird spot. I
Mhm.
think this movie would be perfect for your 13-year-old son, but also if you let your 13-year-old son watch this movie, they will become obnoxious for a few weeks afterwards
Yeah.
because they'll want to imitate everything.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing a lot of "Alrighty then."
Thank you very much, or spank you very much, whatever
Thanks,
the
thank you very much.
yeah.
or Chicago.
I will say that Jim Carrey in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies is I think it's a better performance than what we got here, and
Yeah.
it's partially just because he has something more to like riff on, and also as the villain rather than our main character, you have some more how to put it, you have some more leeway to be crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tend to agree. Yeah. Although I will say, as far as comedy sequels go, this is certainly one of the better ones.
Oh yeah, there have been much worse.
Yeah. And I will say, like, have you? I will actually defend Wayne's World too. Um, I thought that movie was really good. And not as good as the first one, but I thought it was still a funny movie. And this movie, yeah, like, yeah, definitely better than some of the other ones. Like, well, I mean, well, Dumb and Dumber 2, which I don't know what they were thinking of making that one. Uh,
Wasn't that the one they made years and years and years later?
yeah, it came out. Oh God, I think that came out like 5 or 6 years ago.
I think it was further back than that. I actually saw that one in the theaters,
Uh,
surprisingly, which I hadn't seen the first one, so I didn't have a point of comparison. So I thought it was, I actually kind of enjoyed that one,
oh,
but I would probably know better now. But like, yeah, there's a lot of famously bad comedy sequels. Caddyshack 2.
yeah. Uh, what's another one? Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, it's not a lot of them. Oh, wait. Police Academy gave us like seven
Uh,
of them.
yeah, yeah, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, should have stopped at one.
But Joe Piscopo or whoever else had to make their money.
Oh, no,
Was
who made Steve Gutenberg
Gutenberg. That's it.
a
That's it.
star? Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Mixed them up.
that's
Anyway,
yeah,
so yeah, like very tenuous recommend for certain audiences who probably shouldn't watch it.
yeah.
So it's the perfect PG-13 movie, I suppose. Is it actually rated
Yeah,
PG-13?
it
I
it
hope.
somehow it got a PG-13 rating, yeah.
I guess you never actually saw anything too inappropriate. There were a few funny scenes. Like there are some great lines,
Yeah,
like mixed through. They're just, in my opinion, it's like the Jim Carrey antics themselves can get a bit tiresome.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh
and
well.
yeah. And from what I heard too, he actually didn't wanna do this movie.
Okay.
Um,
Contractual obligation.
yeah, yeah. And I think the only reason he did it was because his buddy was the director on the movie. So
Steve
that's
Odenkirk.
Steve Odenkirk, yeah. So that softened him, probably softened him a bit. But yeah, he
Okay.
didn't wanna he didn't wanna do a sequel to Ace Ventura.
Yeah, didn't this one kind of hurt his career for a bit because he was like
Uh,
trying to transition to more serious stuff, and
I think it did a little bit, because this movie came out, like, right around the time, he was really, I think it was just kind of a slight black eye on an otherwise, like,
Mhm.
growing career. Like, last week, we were talking about how, like, Ben Stiller was really big in the 2000s. Mid to late 90s was all that was Jim Carrey's time.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he was trying to transition to more serious stuff, like The Truman Show was one of those movies.
Right, or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Yeah,
Mind.
right. Yeah. Um,
did a way better job of it than Will Smith did.
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about him soon enough.
Yes, we will. Yeah, but this movie it's actually this movie and the first one are on Netflix until the end of the month.
Yep, leaving soon. So you have a limited window of opportunity.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of 90 sequels that apparently ignored the idea that they had a limited window of opportunity.
Yes.
Batman Resurrection, the novel by John Jackson Miller.
Yes. Yeah. So I listened to the audio version of this book, as well as the follow-up book, which is called Batman Revolution. And both of these books take place shortly after the events. Shortly after the events of Batman '89, and obviously a couple of years or whatever it was before Batman Returns. Basically, it ignores Batman Forever and Batman and Robin from the continuity. And so so Batman Resurrection takes place. I think it's 6 months after the events of Batman '89. So the prologue takes place like during the events, and then the rest of the novel is 6 months after. But in the prologue, we meet an actor or aspiring actor named Carlo Babbage, who later adopts the stage name Basil Carlo, and he goes and gets some kind of like black market makeup because he's an understudy for this real egotistical actor in a stage play. And during this time, so in Batman '89, one of the Joker's schemes was that he had this chemical that he called Smilex, and he put it in all these cosmetic products. And Batman figured out that it was all in the cosmetic products. So all like makeup and shampoo and all this other stuff was completely taken off the market in Gotham. And so Basil Carlo goes into these thugs to get some makeup for this actor that he's understudying, and the actor tells Carlo, "Why don't you test it on yourself first, just to make sure?" And so Carlo does, and it starts to distort his face, and he goes into a coma.
Hmm.
So, Basil Carlo, for all the Batman aficionados, is the real name of Clayface.
I was wondering. I couldn't remember his actual name, but it's like, who else could it be?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we got Clayface, and then later in the novel, we find out. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on in Gotham in the aftermath of the Joker's attack, where he tried to unleash Smilex during the parade, and then you had the whole thing with the cathedral where Batman was chasing him up. One aspect is a lot of Joker's gang is still roaming around, um, and they're led by one of the the kind of the top gang members from Joker. His name is Lawrence. If you've seen Batman '89, he's the guy with the boombox, and he's got
Okay.
he had the handlebar mustache. And they were actually working for Max Schreck, who was Christopher Walken's character in Batman Returns. And they're destroying all of these Gotham landmarks because Schreck needs the space for parking for his department stores. And so you've got that going on, and then you have a wing of Gotham General that is treating the victims of Smilex. And by the way, this wing of the hospital is being paid for by generous donations from Bruce Wayne. And it's headed up by a doctor named Hugh Auslander. And I'm going to describe his physical appearance. He's bald-headed, glasses, and a pointy goatee. is Hugo. Hugh Auslander is not his real name. His real name is Hugo Strange.
Okay, so they're basically pulling in characters that I would say Hugo Strange is a fairly obscure Batman villain.
Yeah.
And Clayface is one that they would have really had a hard time with 90s technology.
Oh yeah, they would have. Yeah. Yeah. Not even. I don't even think the CGI that like Cameron was using with Terminator would have worked for it. But yeah. So you got that. The stage is set there, and of course, all of a sudden, the Joker, who everybody thought was dead, suddenly appears because Carlo wakes up from his coma, and Hugo Strange uses his little hypnotic magic on Carlo, and he starts to use Clayface and has him impersonate the Joker. And of course, Batman is dealing, still kind of grappling with the emotional effects from everything that happened in the movie, because he discovers that Jack Napier, who is also the Joker, was the one who killed his parents, and the fact that may still be alive is just really throwing him for a loop. And of course, he's kind of questioning, like, well, how did he survive? Was there did he have like another guy there who was like a stand-in, and that was the guy that got killed? So basically the movie is, I'm sorry, not the movie, the book is basically just Batman trying to, unravel this conspiracy, and then, try to figure out like who Hugo Strange really is. And of course, there's this other like little subplot too, where you find out that the Smilex chemical that the Joker was using was actually developed by the CIA.
Oh,
yeah. So there's that aspect of it. But what was nice about this book was that it did bring back some of the characters from Batman '89 that we didn't see later on, and it actually gives actually more time to the characters that kind of had like smaller roles, like Commissioner Gordon, for instance. Batman and Gordon have more interactions with each other than they did in the movies. And also Harvey Dent as well. Harvey Dent's in there, and of course, when I'm hearing Harvey Dent, I'm picturing Billy D. Williams, because that's who played him in the movie. But yeah, I mean, the book is a fine enough like Batman story, and especially in this universe of Batman, which I kind of wish we had gotten more out of it than just it. Basically, just the two movies, at least the two Tim Burton movies that we got.
Right.
Yeah.
You got your monkey's paw wish of more movies technically set in this continuity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the second book, Batman Revolution, this one centers on the Riddler. And the Riddler's a little different in this story. Of course, it's not the Jim Carrey Riddler, to go back to our movie review. So this Riddler, I was picturing Robin Williams, because that's who Tim Burton wanted to play the Riddler when he was still directing the third Batman movie. Yeah.
That would have been so much better.
Oh yeah, it would have been. Yeah. So in this, the Riddler's real name is Norman Pincus, but he works as a copy boy for the Gotham newspaper, and he also writes these. He creates these puzzles for the newspaper, and he uses his pen name Edward Nigma.
Okay.
Yeah, and we get some of his backstory. He was raised by a single mom. He grew up in the Gotham library. He always liked puzzles, and he always liked riddles. And we find out that his father was a screenwriter in Hollywood, but his career was killed, or his career ended because he got blacklisted. And this was during the McCarthyism. But so we have him, and at first he's very just, very, meek and very kind. He doesn't really, he doesn't, his mother taught him to never, to always be humble, never take credit for anything. always, just
What a perfect lesson for your child.
I know, yeah, I know. And he took that to heart for the first, 38, 39 years of his life. Um, and so, but the other part of it too is that his mother is sick. She worked at the Axis Chemicals plant where they were making the Smilex. And
Well, that's an awful lot of continuity for two movies,
I know, yeah,
two pseudo movies.
yeah, yeah. And so you had that going on, and on top of all of that, there is a group of terrorists, or actually, it's not groups, but a group of terrorists. They call themselves the Eternal Militia, and they're kind of like the Sudanese Liberation Army from the 70s. Kind of similar vibe to them. And they're led by a young woman named, she calls herself Camille. Well, she calls herself Camille, and as a tribute to Camille, oh God, I'm trying to remember how to pronounce the name. Desmolins, who is a prominent figure of the French Revolution. And a lot of their ideology of this group ties to the groups from the French Revolution. And so what the basic plot of that Revolution is that Max Schreck wants to so in Batman 89 they were supposed to have their bicentennial parade for the 25th for the 200th anniversary for Gotham City, but they canceled it because of the Joker. So Max Schreck says, well, we need to do it again on the 4th of July. And of course, that's where things really just spiral from there because the Eternal Militia decides they want to hijack that. And of course, Gotham City has these new like tactical vans for going after criminals. And of course, the vans were donated generously from Bruce Wayne. And so Batman has to kind of navigate like trying to deal with the militia and everything, and then of course they're getting of course the Riddler gives them gives like tips to the Gotham police, and then he mistakenly believes that they give the tips to Batman, but in reality Batman's just figuring it out himself. And so that just sets off the Riddler, and then of course things spiral from there, and then the Riddler ends up joining the Eternal Militia, and then falls in love with the leader, Camille. Another thing I forgot to mention, a character that pops up in both books, in addition to Max Schreck, is also Selina Kyle. Of course, pre-Catwoman Selina Kyle. Yeah, because they in another character was Alexander Knox. I don't know if you remember him.
No.
He was the real kind of sarcastic reporter in Batman 89. He was the one who was trying to get with Kim Basinger.
Okay, I remember him now.
And actually, Vicky Vale shows up in Batman Resurrection, but yeah. So Knox is in there. There's a scene where they go on a double date where Knox is on. He's taking this beautiful young woman named Elena, which is actually Camille in disguise, and then Norman, the Riddler, his dates Selina, and of course Norman just really blows it badly. But yeah, I mean this. Batman Revolution has definitely has much more of a political angle to it than Resurrection, and I don't know if I like that one as much as, or I didn't like Revolution as much as Resurrection. I thought it kind of the pacing is a lot slower in that book, and it's I didn't really like the story as much, and think it was as compelling as Resurrection. But I did like how the Riddler was portrayed. Less of a crime genius. Well, he's a genius, but he's not like a bad guy. He's just kind of very misguided and more of a tragic figure than say like Jim Carrey was in Batman Forever. Um, but yeah, I mean these are decent books. And if you're a big fan of Batman, I think you'll probably get some enjoyment out of them.
So here's a question I have.
Yeah.
Could you see these being chopped down enough to fit into a movie, or are they kind of expanding it too much?
You could probably chop it down into a movie, but you might lose a lot of characterizations with some of the with some of them. Uh, especially with the Riddler. Um, you would have to have really condensed that down because it's really not until halfway through the book when he finally joins the militia. Yeah, so but I mean it'd be probably actually if they did like adapt it, it would probably work better. It would have worked better like as a streaming series as opposed to a movie.
Okay, so you wouldn't have actually, you know, in 5 years when you can rent out AI from Warner Brothers for $300 or whatever.
Yeah.
This sounds like a perfect adaptation to make.
Oh yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Just have to secure the likenesses.
Yeah, you gotta pay off Keaton and yeah, Nicholson and yeah, all those guys. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in this book, I mean, it's audiobooks available wherever you get your audiobooks. The book is, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever you go.
Yep. Well, it's one of those things that tickles me that it exists.
Yeah.
and you almost think to myself, there's a lot of great movies that had not so great sequels where what if you did just open it up to more novels? I mean, I know they did that with Buckaroo Banzai, though I hear that the Buckaroo Banzai sequel novel wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it's like if it's a way to trick people who don't usually read a novel into reading a novel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what movie definitely isn't made for people who like to read? The classic disaster movie Independence Day.
Independence Day, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you, DB, but I remember when this movie came out and all the hype that was around it.
Oh yeah, the commercials were great. I ended up seeing it at like my family had a habit of going to this Last Chance theater near us. So like we saw a lot of movies way later than other people. So I don't know when I saw this, but it was nowhere near Independence Day.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw it opening weekend. No, I did see it opening weekend. I remember it. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the hype around this movie was just amazing. I mean, they marketed it well, but they also kind of didn't because for those of you who are old enough to remember it, like the commercials, and the trailers, they all showed that iconic moment when the White House blows up.
Right. Which on the one hand, I understand wanting to show the money moment to make people come in and see the movie.
Yeah.
Because that was new and exciting. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, yeah, it's like what's happening.
Yeah. Like the first act of the movie, which is July 2nd when the aliens show up, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, let's get to the part where the aliens start blowing stuff up because we know that's happening.
Yeah. So I'm going to say something kind of controversial.
Yeah.
This dumb Roland Emmerich disaster movie from the 90s is smarter than a lot of newer movies in genres that you would expect to be better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Like I'm talking like serious dramas and things like that. Because like let's just go through it. Every character has an arc they are on. Every character has objectives that they wish to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Every character has an at least somewhat distinctive personality. You very quickly understand what every character is about, even though there's a bit of exposition to it. But that's okay, because when you have a plot with this many characters in it, you kind of have to be blunt at times.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, like they and they're quirky characters too. Like some of them are like Jeff Goldblum's character is just he's quirky. He
Right.
which is I guess par for the course for Jeff Goldblum, but yeah.
Which works really well because they pair him with his dad, played by Judd Hirsch, who's
Yeah.
playing kind of a Jewish stereotype, but it's like a lovable Jewish stereotype.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the Manhattan, yeah, the Manhattan guy who is just very sardonic and
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
a dry wit to him.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's like you're divorced. Move on, David. That's not healthy.
It's been 4 years. It's been 3 years.
30 years. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or he's playing chess with Jeff and with a Goldblum, and it's like a checkmate. What that isn't checkmate. Oh, that's a checkmate.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
and of course Goldblum is also a big environmentalist too. So he's he's got the styrofoam cup. Like, do you know how long it's going to take for that cup to decompose?
Yeah. So okay, so overall premise of the movie, because I realized we kind of were assuming people knew about it.
Yeah.
Aliens show up in a spacecraft about a quarter the size of the moon. This spacecraft divides up into, I want to say, 15 smaller subcraft.
Yeah.
Plus a larger craft that stays in orbit. And they settle over a bunch of major Earth cities, and nobody's quite sure what to make of it, since they aren't trying to communicate. It turns out they do not come in peace.
Yeah, no, they don't. And of course, they realize that a little too late. Although Jeff Goldblum actually figures it out because he, working for his TV cable company, their satellites picked up the signal in there, and he says, "Oh, it's going to disappear in 7 hours." And I was like, "Well, that's actually the countdown to when they're going to blow everything up."
Right. Now, there's a bit of yada yada in here where you have to kind of like, okay, he figured it out because X.
Yeah.
Or yeah, he kind of figured out because he had to.
Yeah.
But it is a breezy enough movie that you don't have a whole lot of time to ask questions like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and of course, our other cast of characters, you got Bill Pullman playing the President of the United States, Thomas Whitmore, who I kind of liken him to like John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, actually, that's a good analogy. Young war hero who comes in and is kind of seen as a waffler when he's just trying to like make things happen in DC.
Right. Yeah. And of course there's a clip in there where they're watching the McLaughlin group, which I don't know if anyone over the or under the age of 35 remembers the McLaughlin group. It was one of those political roundtable discussion shows. I think it was on PBS. And I recognized two of the pundits that were on there. They were actually the Democrat or the liberal ones, and they were just trashing them.
Which makes you wonder if his politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if he was just that weak.
Oh yeah, either or. Yeah. But yeah, so you got him, and then of course his chief of staff. What was her name? Connie. That's Jeff Goldblum's ex-wife.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some
and she left him. And she left him to go work for the president's campaign.
Yeah.
And apparently Goldblum didn't care for this because he thought they were cheating, and he punched him out. Well, you punch out the president? He wasn't the president yet.
He wasn't the president. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, and then of course rounding out the cast of characters, of course, I guess you could say the star of the movie, Will Smith. who plays Captain Stephen Hiller of the United States Marine Corps. He's a fighter pilot living in LA with his girlfriend, played by Vivica A. Fox, and her son. What was the son's name? I can't remember.
Dylan.
Dylan. Yeah, Dylan. By the way, real quick side note, Dylan and the president's daughter are in the second movie. They're like the main characters in that one.
And as we know, that was a wonderful movie that was beloved by all and totally necessary.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Didn't make me want to pull my hair out when I was watching it in the theater.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, so he sees the spaceship, and of course, the one hovering over LA. Another character I forgot to mention. I can't believe I forgot him. Randy Quaid's character, Russell, who is a alcoholic crop duster.
Yep, who claims he was abducted by aliens, and of course the townspeople like to make fun of him. They say, "Oh, they probed him while he was up there."
Oh yeah.
By the way, interesting thing that has occurred to me: they never, to my mind, 100% define if he was actually abducted by aliens.
No, they don't. Yeah,
like it is possible that aliens just happened to exist, and he was a crazy person who saw something weird while he was drunk one night.
No, yeah.
That really struck me, because that would actually make more sense, because it's not like the aliens sent a ship that crashed into Area 51. By the way, we're going in with spoilers for this movie.
Yeah.
They did have a captured ship in Area 51. So it's like they had sent a scout plane out before, or scout ship out before, but it's not like they necessarily were known to have been doing this for a while. So it could have been that was a one-off, and then Quaid's character just had an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, although when I was a kid, I always assumed that he actually was abducted by aliens, but
I always did too. But I guess I mean that on this watch through, I was paying attention to it, and I just realized that was he just insane and happened to be right? It's not impossible.
Yeah, anything's possible. Yeah. But yeah, so the rest of after the cities get destroyed, the remainder of humanity have to try to figure out how to stop the aliens before humanity is completely wiped out. And of course, everything they try to do doesn't work, because I mean, this is an advanced alien civilization with interstellar travel, and they have technology far beyond anything that we could comprehend.
Right. And they have energy shields.
And they have energy. Yeah, they have energy shields and energy weapons. Yeah. And
I do like the progression of how they tried to do it. Although, okay, so I think that even if the alien ship hadn't had energy shields, a bunch of air-to-air missiles on fighter jets would not have put a meaningful dent in something large enough to basically block the sun out of Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and that happened in the last battle, where they were running out of missiles, and they just it was not doing they weren't doing the job.
Right, they had to hit the weak spot.
Yeah.
But and then of course they go to nukes, which is actually a nice. Like so many of these movies, they always go, "Oh, we can't escalate to nukes because X, Y, Z."
Yeah.
Like no, like if this was the situation, somebody would try it, even though it failed miserably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if the Americans didn't try to do it, the Russians would have tried it at some point, or
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, but so basically the movie is just like, it's this it is a fun summer popcorn movie that I hate to say it, is kind of a almost a bygone thing nowadays. Like you really don't, because I mean, if you think about it, the movie it's a B movie plot, and with a major motion picture budget. And if I recall correctly, I think this movie was the highest grossing movie of '96. And this movie was an event. Like, for those of you who weren't old enough to have seen this movie in the theater, or like it was like Avengers Endgame. And
Right.
you really don't see that anymore. Like I mean, like the last time I went to a movie that was like that was Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, like it's, and it's still like here's the thing about it. It's a very dumb movie, but it's like it's dumb in a smart way, I guess is how I'll put it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, like the whole plot line where they have to upload a computer virus from an Apple computer into the alien mothership to shut off the shields for all the other ships.
Yeah.
It's like on the one hand, it's kind of seems like a silly design for them. On the other hand, it's like on the other hand, it's like how to put it. George Lucas got away with it in episode one, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, like, when you have an alien spaceship like that, you kind of have to build around how do we make a big enough threat that we can actually resolve in the third act in a 2-hour movie.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, just real quick, this movie does rip off a lot of other alien invasion movies.
Yes.
I mean, like the whole virus thing. I mean, they basically ripped that off from War of the Worlds. So
Right,
for those
just
of
a
you,
computer virus instead of an actual virus.
right, yeah, and then and the scene where they're trying to communicate with the aliens with the flashing helicopter lights. I mean, that's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right, like this is not an original movie.
No, no, but it's still fun though.
Yeah. Also, we forgot to mention. Oh, you get to see Brent Spiner in his prime as a mad scientist.
Oh yeah, they don't let us out much. Yeah.
I did like how the only justification that everybody wasn't crushed by the crashing alien spaceship was, oh, we're miles and miles underground.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I will say the only thing in retrospect that makes this movie a bit less fun, knowing what you know about Will Smith, it is harder to take him seriously as an action hero who's a cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, it did. I mean, this movie and then Bad Boys before it was where he really broke out into that. He broke the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mold and
Right.
became an
Well, it's
action
like,
hero. Yeah.
and then
But
it's
yeah,
like,
it's like, yeah.
and then Men in Black came after this one, right?
Right. Yeah. It was the year after.
Yeah, it's like up until Wild Wild West, it's like he was on a real roll.
Yeah.
And then
Oof.
like the stupidest thing he ever did was get the idea in his head that he was meant to be a serious dramatic actor.
Yeah.
The dude is meant to be Hitch. The dude is meant to be Agent J. The dude is meant to be Captain Stephen Hiller. He's supposed to be kind of rote characters who he can give a that hint of humanity by being a funny smartass with moments of
Yeah.
seriousness. He's not there to make you feel bad about life like he did in 7 Pounds,
Yeah.
or to try to give his son a sci-fi franchise like he did with After Earth.
Oof. Oh, man.
Like
Yeah.
this is peak Will Smith, so it's
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
the best he'll ever give us
Yeah. That's true.
because
And
he stays in his lane.
oh yeah. Yeah. Although he was smart enough not to do the sequel. Although he did Suicide Squad the same year, so I don't know how smart he was. But
You know what? That Suicide Squad movie, it made money at least, and so he probably got a nice payday off it.
that's true. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, go check this movie out if you haven't already, or give it a rewatch if it's been a while since you've seen it. Currently on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great fun. It's
Yeah.
just I don't really have a whole lot of notes for this movie because
Yeah.
I think that if you tried to make it too smart, you would ruin the cheesy fun of it. And
Exactly.
I think the world needs more of that. Like, you know what it is? It is largely unironic. That's what it is. Even when you have Goldblum and Smith making jokes, it feels like they aren't. They feel like they are still characters in the movie who care about what is happening.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Indeed.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell, buy some books, and we'll see you next week. Night, everybody.
Good night.